Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk, as the kids would say. This is a TED Talk about the fresh food movement. If you haven't heard of it, I'm glad that you're here. It's definitely not an issue that hasn't been talked about before, and it's definitely a controversial issue for some reason. But I'm glad that you guys are here, and we're going to get right into it. So, our beloved pets, humans' best friend, right? And whether that's dog, cat, guinea pig, horse, pig, fish, anything of the like, they're definitely our best friends. And after the pandemic started, more and more people decided to make the jump to add a new family member to their household. And many pets were being adopted, and many pet guardians took a serious look into their animals' health and well-being. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Of course, health is like the top issue that we're talking about. But not often do we talk about our pets' health issues. We leave that in the hands of the professionals, and we don't do any judgment calls of our own. We don't do any research. And that's not to say that most people don't do that, because a lot of people do. But for the majority, not a lot of people, have the capacity to handle that kind of stuff, and they leave it to the professionals, which is perfectly fine. But you'll find that most times when you're leaving that kind of stuff to professionals, there's more of a reactive medicine approach than there is a preventative medicine, and we'll get into that as well. So living in a crazy, scary time like the pandemic, it's given us each a new perspective on life, taking serious consideration of our health, obviously. Many people have considered what goes into our bodies and how it's affecting our immune system and the like. But now, in the middle of a pandemic, we're also considering this for our companions, which is especially awesome. I did that for myself. I waited 2 years to get a dog, and when I finally did, I did exuberant amount of research to make sure that I was feeding him and caring for him the absolute best that I could, because I'm just not satisfied, and I would hope no one is satisfied with being told that their pets are, going to die at the age of 10, that their life capacity or their max capacity is 10, 11, 12. I mean, to me, that just doesn't even seem right. And I knew that I wanted to have my pet, my doggie, Unali, here with me as long as possible, and that really started with fresh food. So really what the issue is, we're being told something and then the other is actually the best. So most pet guardians have been told for over 100 years now that kibble is the best, most nutritional, and the safest way to feed their companions. With a plethora of new studies and information, we know that this is not technically the case. And this is not really the fault of our vets and the people that we put the trust in, but the lack of preventative medicine and nutrition that they are taught in school. And some may, argue this point, but really all of the studies that have happened is like all of these like Science Diet and Hills and stuff like that, they're the ones that are sponsoring these big vet schools. And really the only nutrition that they're being taught is kibble. So kibble versus raw. And what I mean by raw is I'm not telling you to go out and feed your dog raw meat or your animal raw meat, but technically, that is the best way to get the least amount of AGEs or advanced glycation end products, which are something that isn't really talked about in high processed food. So the fresh food movement is about educating guardians to incorporate more than dry, burnt, carb-loaded diet from birth to death. We're saying that this is the best way to prevent disease and increase longevity, but this could not be further from the truth. The amount of carbs and mystery proteins and overprocessing that kibble is made of is doing quite the opposite of the above. So you're taking something that is overprocessed and made of mystery meat and proteins and byproducts and stuff that we don't even know where it's coming from, and it's not being ethically sourced. We are what we eat, right? But we are also what we eat eats. And not a lot of people talk about that either. So it's really great to know where the sourcing is coming from and how much processing is going into that. And, air-baked kibble is a little bit on that higher side, and then you get into the freeze-dried and stuff like that. But the less processed, the better. And, we say that about ourselves too, so why wouldn't we do that for our animals? The benefits of a fresh food diet are quite literally endless. And there are many, many benefits. So some of the endless benefits include fresher breath, hip and joint health, skin and coat health, longevity, cognitive strength and ability, disease prevention, gut health, smaller, less smelly stool, which I'm sure we would like that. And the list literally goes on. We would never, ever feed ourselves McDonald's or our children McDonald's every day for every meal from birth to death. So when we consider feeding our animals highly processed carb-loaded food from birth to death, it really puts it into perspective that that's probably not what we should be doing. So In order to get started, the best way to get started on a healthier lifestyle for companion animals is to find a vet or an animal nutritionist in your area or online that really understands the benefits of a fresh food diet and can help walk you through the process in an easy manner rather than getting overwhelmed and really just not being able to do it. So I did add some little activations here that you can click on to find some resources. The ACVN is great, and Forever Dog, which has completely changed my life, is a really great resource as well. So thanks again for coming to my TED Talk, and I hope you enjoyed it.